Hello and welcome back to Lulu Storylog, where we uncover the real stories behind the music.
Picture it for a moment with me. Imagine the vulnerability of arriving with just, two suitcases and a dream.
Just two suitcases.
Right. Stepping out into the cold northern wind of a completely new beginning and planting quiet seeds in the snow. You're living paycheck to paycheck, simply trying to keep the lights on for your family.
Yeah. For the artists in today's story, decades went by in that state of pure survival.
I know. And, well, I think anyone can empathize with the quiet fear they carried. Looking back after 20 years and realizing you haven't been able to save anything in your RRSP.
That's a heavy realization.
It is. It feels like a failure. You look at that glaring empty contribution room and think, you think you're arriving at the end of the road empty-handed.
But, and this is the beautiful irony we uncover in this track, that glaring empty contribution room wasn't a deficit at all. Not at all. Decades of sheer survival actually, miraculously, paved the way for a triumphant harvest. What felt like an empty account was, it was actually silent construction of a hidden shield.
A shield built out of absolutely nothing.
It really is brilliant. The architecture here revolves around a timeline called a 7-year bridge, spanning from age 65 to 71.
Okay, so that specific window.
Exactly. Rather than stepping off a cliff, the artist uses that massive untouched RRSP room to perfectly offset their mandatory CPP income during those specific years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so mathematically, their taxable income drops to absolute zero.
Which smoothly triggers maximum government support, like the OAS and the GIS.
Exactly.
But, walking that bridge with zero taxable income requires preparation. You can't just
flip a switch at 65.
Right, especially when you still have other taxable retirement funds lingering around.
Yeah, you have to clear the path first.
Yeah.
So at age 64, the artist executes a big flush. They withdraw whatever taxable funds they do have.
Which creates a massive income spike for 1 year.
Yes. And normally, bureaucracy would look at that sudden wealth on paper and
they just disqualify them from future support?
They would. But here is where a simple piece of paper becomes a key to a long-awaited door. Form ISP 3041.
The ISP 341, yeah.
It allows the artist to legally look the government in the eye and say, that spike was a one-time event. My recurring income is zero. It makes the transition to maximum support completely seamless and, I think more importantly, dignified.
Dignified. That's the word that resonates so deeply when you listen to the lyrics.
It really does.
Moving from the physical mechanics of this bridge to the emotional piece of actually walking across it. There's that one line, the shield we didn't use became our strongest wall.
It's so profound because while their taxable income is zero on paper, they're living entirely on invisible income.
Invisible income.
Right, drawing from tax-free accounts like a TFSA or T-Series funds. The government benefits are completely undisturbed, and they walk the bridge with absolute peace of mind.
It completely changes how you hear the chorus. I mean, the empty barn they sing about isn't a symbol of poverty at all.
No, not even a little. That empty barn is a deliberate, invisible fortress of dignity. It's just standing there quietly, guarding their late-starting son.
I love that. A fortress of dignity. It reframes the entire immigrant experience for the artist.
Yeah.
What felt like a lifetime of struggle was actually the exact mechanism that provided maximum shelter when the northern wind finally settled. But of course, these numbers and forms, they're just the architecture. The true soul is in the melody.
Now, let the melody speak what words cannot. This is the 7-year bridge.
If this story helped you find your own shield, please subscribe and like. We'll be here waiting for you.
I still feel the wind from the day I touched down, just fighting for breath in this unfamiliar town. Retirement was a ghost, a word I barely knew, while I spent my strength just pushing through. Seasons turned to decades, the roots finally took hold, and in a silent vault, a quiet story was told. I thought I was late, that my chance had flown, but I found a shield in the seeds I had sown. Across the 7-year bridge, silent and still, I'm I'm guarding the harvest with a quiet will.
My barn may look empty, my pockets running low,
but I'm leaning on the promise that catches us all. Children, don't fear a late starting sun. The race isn't over when you think it is done.
the shield we didn't use became our strongest wall.
We learned how to protect the greatest lesson of all.
Across the 7-year break, silent and still, I'm guarding the harvest with a quiet will. My barn may look empty, my pockets are running low, but I'm leaning on the promise
That catches us all.
decades of labor, 7 years of light, walking toward the peace that feels so right. Now Lulune sees for the set